morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about the risk assessment. How to risk assessment? What is reason for risk assessment? So this is a good topic, and all you know that how to risk assessment. What is the reason, and what is the step of risk assessment at your workplace? So today we are discuss about the risk. So first we have discussed what is the risk. Risk is a mathematical calculations, probability and severity is equal to risk. Means risk of type depend on the probability and severity, that called risk. Suppose that if you are using a forklift and drivers driving forklift in their surrounding the area, among of people's working, there is risk may be high because of surrounding the area among people's working. If in case of mistakes by the drivers, that may be hit with the person and workers. So there is risk is very high. If there is surrounding the area hard barricade, soft barricading is there is no workers involved to work, where is forklift moving in progress, risk will be low because of there is nothing any chance to anyone's injured, anyone hits. So that this is a depend on probability and severity, that called risk. So guys, risk. Second thing, hazards. What is the hazards? Hazards is definitions is many more. If you are reading the books, there is many engineers and writers write on definitions risk hazards. Simple hazards is a simple definitions which is potential to cause harm and ill health, environment property damage, that cause hazards, which are potential to harm, that cause hazard. So guys, risk how to risk profiling, we are going to risk profiling means how to assess the risk. So this is a simple idea. You know that everyone's working in constructions industry, then also you can use of hazards identifications risk assessment. If you are going to conduct assess the risk, then first you have to identify the hazards, because if you have observed the hazards, then you can assess the risk. So hazard identification, so that calls HIRA, hazard identifications risk assessment. So if suppose that you are using example for forklift, driver without driving license, that calls maybe hazards. Untrained drivers, that hazards. After that, you know that if untrained drivers driving the forklift, what may be happen? What may be chance of accidents? So depend, because of they are not aware, they are people not trained about the forklift, how to use a forklift. There is maybe risk will be high. So risk will be high. So risk depend on severity and probability. So second thing we have discussed, what to involve, how to involve, who is involved to risk assessment. So first we have to know that if you are going to hazard identifications risk assessments, then first if you are working, depend on climates, depend on organizations, because this is major commitments, major involvement of senior management and company organizers, make a good structures, make a good access to implementation safety culture at workplace. So first is responsibility and responsibility and the involvement of management must be there. if you are going to grow, if you are going to risk assessment and risk profiling. So after that, there all people who are involved to work. Suppose that your supervisor, suppose that engineers, project managers, general manager, everyone take responsibility to improvement good health safety cultures, and everyone take interest with the hardly to improvement health safety cultures in an organization. So they can, then we can improvements, then we can an assessment and risk profiling will be better, because of that many organizations only for blank papers writing and only for paperwork. There is nothing improvement on ground, because of only everything is done on paper, everything nothing done on ground levels. This is a fact, and also many organizations, many employ already they are understood about it, what is the ongoing in ground, and what is happen on work on papers. So there are many types of there people are manipulate the safety culture. So I hope to, as a safety professional, make a good safety plan, make a good risk assessment profiling. Then we can improvements, and very important to involve them all levels, senior management and junior management and middle class managements also involvement. Then you can very useful to support a good health safety cultures, make a good environment health safety cultures at your workplace. Second thing, their risk profiling process examinations. So nature of level and faced by the organization's likelihood, adverse effect occurs, level of disruptions and consequences and adverse, then the routine in the nature of effectiveness. So guys, there are two types of theirs. First, if you are going to risk assessment, depend on the routine work and non-routine work. Both are both are hazardous, both are risky, both is risky work. So guys, both are risky work. So how to analyze? So first, make a identification work activity at your workplace. How many types of work activity in your workplace? How many type of work going on your organizations? And then identifications the activity. After that, make identifications of work method statements. So how to perform that type of work? Suppose that if you are going to use of forklift, then that use of forklift, that is a activity. What is the lifting plan? How to lift it? How many types of materials lifted from the lift? And what is the manufacturing process? So make a good work method statements regarding the forklift. And after that, part of educations, that hazard identification, untrained and forklift operator, unlicensed, non-licenses. They have no carried license. So guys, make a education training, and what is the process, what is the equipment status. If you are using a forklift, then must be inspection as per manufacturer's checklist, and what is the gap must be implementations on workplace. So guys, there are many risk profilings is there. So first, gathering the work activity at your workplace, and make a good work method statements and identifications of hazards in that particular activity, and what is the risk assessment, how to risk reduce at your workplace. Suppose that already for one example share with you, forklift operators driving the forklift. There is among people, means risk will be high. There is if you are going to remove all entire and isolated that area where is moving the forklift, risk will be reduced. So first, identifications of the hazards, means among peoples we have you have identified the hazards. There are identify. After that risk assessment, if maybe persons surrounding the area, maybe risk will be high. If persons hit with the forklift, maybe damage of bones, damage of got injury and injury, and maybe hospitalizations, maybe a fracture of bones, fracture of maybe fatality. So guys, that may be called, that is called of risk profiling. Next we discuss a purpose of risk assessment. Why we are going to assessment of risk? You know that this is a basic requirement. So we are going to process, we are going to take risk assessment because of there is no one think about the accidents. No anyone want to incident, first aid, near miss at workplace. Because of, if you are a managing director, if you are a safety manager, if you are a project manager of an organization, then also you who don't want any accidents and incident, near misses at site. This is a human culture. Everyone know that. So we are going to risk assessments because of we have to protect people and property damage and environment. So that we are going to use of risk assessment and reduce of risk. You know that risk will be not eliminated, because of we can reduce of risk, we can reduce of hazards. Hazards is everyone's. If you are standing on grounds, there is a hazard, but we can, how to we can reduce, how we can reduce of risk assessment. Suppose that risk level is also know that three types of risk level. Low risk level means there is nothing chance to happen any injury and ill health, and medium risk and high risk. So we have to consider, we have to take actions first high risk activity, and after that middle risk activity. After the low is no importance but significance, and check the proper PPE guidance we can provide it to. There is reduce of also risk and hazards. So guys, purpose of risk, we have to reduce the risk assessment. We have increase of productivity, increase of moral, increase of decrease of financial cost. Decrease means if you are not doing the risk assessment at your workplace, maybe accident happens, then also your insurance and budget cost will be increased. So guys, we have to reduce the cost. We have reduce of insurance cost, compensations of workers, and absenteeism of workers, and continuous and reduce of and avoid the any moral and reputations your organization and and yourself also. So guys, that reason too we are going to risk profiling and risk assessment at your workplace. So guys, this is very important for you if you are going to risk profiling at your workplace. So guys, there are 5 type of risk assessment steps. So guys, if you are used to HERA, if you are make a HERA, then also you know that there are 5 types of risk assessment profiling. First is there mentions activity. What is activity ongoing? What is activity you have planned? And what is the hazards in that particular activity? After that, what is the risk probability? And maybe damage of property, maybe damage of humans, fractures, physical impact. So risk analyze. If you are going to identification hazards, what may and might be harm to human body and property. So guys, this is a hazard identifications. What is the risk is there involved in that particular hazards, and what may be happen, may or might be happen with the humans and others property damage which are surrounding the area. After that, what is the controls measure? You have to identifications hazards and risk will be also high. Then what is your controls measures in place? So take the controls measures, effective safety controls measure in that particular activity. After that controls measure, you have taken control measures. Then what is the residual risk is violence, because of you know that you are not 100% remove the hazards and risk. So residual risk. After that you taking safety precautions. Then what will be there? Risk and hazards is available. Available means there is chance. So guys, there is effective implementation. Suppose that you have checklist, work method, statements, hazard identification, some legal consequences, supervision, engineer trained engineer, competent workers. So guys, all are involvement in that particular activity if you are going to control that. If 100% safety precautions you have taken, so then supervisions, inspection, competency of workers, safety training, medical fitness, everything should be checked, and this was a legal process. If you are deploying the deployment of workers, deployment of work activity, first you have to keep filing and everyone check before deployment of worker. So guys, examples. So guys, hazard identifications. You know that hazards, type of hazards. There is 5 type of hazards. First is physical hazard. Second thing is chemical hazards. Third is biological hazard. Fourth is their physiological hazards, and fifth is their mentioned ergonomic hazards. There are 5 major summarized hazards is there mentioned. So we have to take action about those things we are using. If you are going to hazardous activity, if you are using of electricity, there is physical hazards. If you are using of any unprotected, unguarded mechanical device which are moving parts, that called mechanical hazards. If you are dry weight and weight wastage, food wastage, also some animals, dead animals, that also biological hazards. Biological hazards means if you are using, if you have first aid centers, there is maybe woodens, there may be first aid wastage materials, that called biological hazards. Also on ergonomic hazards, if repetitions of work, suppose that if you are working in office area and continuous sitting on chair and in front of computers and laptops, then continuous eye contact with the laptops and sitting on chairs. So that calls ergonomic hazards. So that we have to take safety precautions as per ergonomic hazards controls measure. Suppose that chairs may be good designs for chairs, and continuous every 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe you wash your eye. See, this is a basic thinking, and change the locations, change the workers' difference. Suppose that if you are working on the platform, suppose if you are going to work in confined space, there is continuous of workers. So guys, continue repetitions and repetitions of workers for every activity, that may be ergonomic, maybe control that. So guys, this is a hazards. This type of hazards are in construction, entire work activity. There are basic 5 type of hazards is there. So guys, if you are working as safety professionals, you must know that how to risk profiling, what is the purpose of risk profiling. So heartily I am requesting to you, please proactively work in an organizations, because of there is many challenges in constructions industry, because of I am also working with a constructions industry. So guys, how to eliminate the hazards, so how to eliminate the barrier, how to challenges accepted to reduce. So guys, Thanks for watching my video.